Okay, so we are up to the sixth argument against the approach of the person who says that I am going to amass wealth, whatever I feel I need for the rest of my life, for myself and my family, and then I will go and involve myself in Avodas Hashem. So we said in the past that the way, the mashal, the parable is that the person is asking from Hashem a collateral. He says, Hashem says, if you keep Torah and mitzvahs, I'll take care of you. The person says, no. First, I need a guarantee I'll be taken care of. That's going to come in the form of wealth. Once I achieve that, then I'll worship you. Right? So that's the mashal, that's the parable. And we've seen 5 reasons why that's not only insulting to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, but it's not even going to guarantee you anything. All the reasons essentially point in the same direction. That if you believe that a Kadosh Baruch Hu has given me my sight and my ability to walk, and the ability for me to taste and to smell and to feel and to have emotions, if I believe all that came from Hashem, so a person wouldn't be asking for collateral. So really all the reasons kind of hover around that central theme, like we saw last night, that you ask for collateral because you're afraid the person won't be able to pay back, won't want to pay back, or might disappear. Right? Those are the only reasons why a person would ask for a collateral, on a guarantee on a loan. To ask it of a person who those things, or an entity I should say, who those things don't apply to, is just downright insulting. So that's the common theme. We'll see that in the 6th and 7th arguments as well. So the Chovos Halevavos is on page 443 in our edition. Hashishi, the 6th argument. A person who takes a pledge, a collateral from his friend to guarantee an obligation. Right? The person who is demanding the collateral were to have been pasha to him, if it would have been simple to him, that either A, shifra'eyu koidim zmanoi, that he would get repaid before the due date. It's a 30-day loan, and let's say I knew he'd pay me back in 3 weeks. Number 2, or v'igmaleo tachas hamtanasoi, and in return for being patient, or in addition to paying back early, in return for being patient and letting me take my time, kefil, he would give him kefil mashiyesh le'etzloi. He would reward him with paying back twice as much. Now, we know halachically there'd be a problem of ribbis, right? If I lend you $100 and say, okay, you pay me back in 2 weeks' time, give me $101. That's an issa d'oraisa of ribbis, of causing interest. It's come up in this week's parsha, Parshas Bahar. The Torah is one of the places where you have the issa of ribbis. So we're talking here about, not talking about halachically, talking about if a person would say, let's say you're lending to a non-Jew where there's no issa to take ribbis. So if I knew this person would not only pay me back before the due date, but he'd actually pay me back twice as much than I paid him, twice as much as he actually loaned out, all because of his kindness. Let's say the borrower felt so indebted to me that I lent him money in his time of need. He paid me back twice what I lent him. So under these circumstances, I wouldn't have demanded a collateral from him, and I know he's going to pay back, and he'll pay back more than I gave him. So similarly, says Rabbi Miller, his attitude would be different if he knew that the borrower would definitely repay the loan, and that it would lead to his becoming a very good friend, one who would do him many favors. Also, the person would not demand the collateral. As for Hashem, we know his benevolence, how he treats us, how well he treats us. And his great kindness to us, chadashim, that's in recent times. Gam Yishonim, as in ancient times. That can be from a national level, from a human level, from the Adam Arishan, to a national level, from Adam Avinu, from the Yidden at Matan Torah, and on a personal level, from the time a person was conceived and the person came into the world. And he rewards people for righteousness and service. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives reward for keeping the mitzvahs. In ways that we are not, in ways that we can't imagine. Kol shekain, she is super, let alone described. So we know how Hashem takes care of us. And for the mitzvahs we do, as we said in one of the previous arguments, that if you take all the mitzvahs that every Jew has done from the beginning of time till now, every single one, and you give it to one person, that still is not enough to repay one chesed Hashem gives us. So by following the rules, by becoming employed, so to speak, by Hashem, the salary we're going to get from Hashem is worth so much more than the effort we put in. Like it says in Yeshaya, no eye but yours, Hashem, has seen what you will do for those who hope to you. In other words, Olam Haba, Yimaisa Mashiach, the Navi says, so the Nevi'im are Nisnabe, they prophesize about the times of Mashiach and how great it will be for the Yidden. When it comes to Olam Haba, Ayin Lo Rasa, no one knows what it is, but it's a tremendous gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's worth much more what we put in. So Yoisuhu Ganai Gadol Shinamashkin. It's much more of a disgrace to take a pledge from him. If we realize how much we're going to get back for Torah and mitzvahs, we'd realize how inappropriate it is to tell Hashem, you know what, I need to be guaranteed X amount so I can serve you. That's the sixth argument. V'hashvi, number 7. Now here's where, in my humble opinion, it seems that the parable changes a little bit. And that's what I'm still trying to figure out how that works. But here are the words. The Hashvi, the 7th argument. Is that when someone takes a pledge from his fellow, takes collateral, a person's only going to take a collateral if he knows that he can lend the money at least or around what that collateral is worth. So we decide that I'm going to lend Ruvain money. So I take from him a $10,000 watch. Now I'm only going to take that watch if I know I have the funds to lend him the money, right? He only takes a pledge after he's certain he has the resources to give that for which the pledge acts as a security. This is where things change a little bit. When someone takes a pledge from Hashem, someone's taking a collateral from Hashem in the form of an advance of benefits, right? So the person is taking benefits from Hashem. He has no power to deliver the service against it, which those benefits are being pledged. He can only perform that service if Hashem helps him and enables him. He has no power himself to do anything. So here it sounds like that the mashal now is as follows. The person saying to Hashem, okay, I have to work and make sure I'm financially secure for the rest of my life. So I need you to let my digestive system work and to let my blood should flow properly, my heart should pump properly, lungs. I need all the chasadim that you're giving me now. I need that to go, to continue. I am not going to involve myself in the service of you yet, full-heartedly. First, I'm going to make my parnasa to last me forever, and then I'll work for you. So it appears that the collateral the person is requesting is the chasadim that we require from Hashem every millisecond of our lives, the millions and billions of chasadim that we receive every single second. So you're taking a collateral, this person is taking a collateral from Hashem, and he has no way to pay back. He's taking a $5 billion pledge, and he has $5 to lend. He cannot be sure that he himself will be able to repay his old debt, let alone this new debt. The righteous man cannot pay his debts to Hashem for all the goodness, unless Hashem helps him out. So it's foolish to ask for a pledge when I know I can never cover the pledge. As one of the pious men said when he praised Hashem, even the wise man knows you and devotes his efforts to your service. Even the wise man and the big tzaddik does not glory in his own actions, because he knows that his deeds are on his own. The tzaddik knows that all the mitzvahs he did, all the righteous acts that he was able to perform, are not a result of him. They're a result of Hashem. He can only boast in your name and your mercy. All he can brag about is that Hashem allowed him to do it. The righteous person, the smart man, will never say, look what I've done, look what I've accomplished. He'll say, look what HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed me to accomplish. So his gaiva, his arrogance, is in that Hashem allowed him to do it. Not that I did it, I can't do anything. It's that Hashem allowed me to do it. You have prepared his heart to know you. For through you will all the descendants of Yisrael be found worthy, and with your glory they will say, we glory in Hashem continually and give thanks to your name forever. So the smart man knows it's not his abilities that allow him to do mitzvahs, it's up to a Kodesh Baruch. So that is the seventh argument against this person, and that is that you're taking a mashkin, you're taking a collateral that you can never cover, you can never lend out that kind of money. So whereas in the first six it sounded like the mashkin is, Hashem, please let me have the $2 million I need to feel secure. So I'm like borrowing that. I need that first, and then I'll worship you. In this last reason, it sounds like, and the person is doing both. The person is saying, number one, allow me to make $2 million so I can serve you later. And number two, you got to keep my systems going. I have to stay alive and healthy and well and alert. So the person is asking for two things. He's asking for maybe a specific amount of money. Then he's asking for health, which there's no way he can ever pay that back. So those are the 7 reasons why this approach is incorrect. And as we said in the beginning of this chapter, of chapter 6, that the Chovos Halevavos is talking about an extreme case of a person who's saying, I'm going to put on my tefillin every day, but don't expect any serious worship. And whatever I feel I need to do to make my parnasa for the rest of my life, I'm going to do. So I won't be able to learn as much. I won't be able to devote myself to picking out a good lulav and esrog and getting the right matzahs and Chanukah menorah. And I can't be so involved in Yiddishkeit because I have to make all this money. And then when I turn 40, so I'll serve you, right? That's what we're talking about. And what the Chovos Halevavos is pointing out is that it's totally illogical, if not chutzpahdik towards Hashem. So none of us have done that. None of us have been so brazen to say, Hashem, hold off for X amount of time. I have to devote myself to my parnasa. But it could be on more subtle levels. We all are on some level, we can relate to this a little bit. That there are times where maybe we should have had more of a question about, should I involve myself in A, B, and C when it was at the expense of something in ruchnius and spirituality? And sometimes the answer is a person hasn't, that's what makes it difficult. A person has an obligation to make sure that he's financially secure. We all have that obligation. On the other hand, it can't go too far. So the difficulty is, and this is the challenge in learning Muslim, we mentioned this in our Mesilas Yesharim shiurim as well, that the first half of what Hashem expects of us, I don't mean half quality or quantitatively, but the first section of what Hashem expects of us is to follow what it says in Shulchan Aruch, right? That's all the same for all of us, right? So you have the same Shabbos, you have the same, you can't wear shatnez, you can't wear one linen together in your garment, and the same kashrus. All this is the same. There's no individuality, really. I mean, there are cases of what's called a Shas Chak, but Lamaisa, there's no real creativity or individuality when it comes to Shulchan Aruch. But then there's what the Mesilas Yesharim calls Chasidus. So Chasidus is where a person has to figure out, so how much time should I devote to davening? Like, how should I get there 15 minutes early and say korbanos properly, or should I sleep more, or should I spend time with my family? And all these questions happen. How much should I learn, right? So all these questions will not be found in Shulchan Aruch, and they will not be found in whether it's a Rav or a friend who will tell you what to do. Those answers are found inside the individual. So the person has to ask a shaila, and a person marbe eitz and marbe tvuna. Whenever you're faced with a difficult or sometimes even an easy question, it's always highly recommended to ask people and seek counsel. At the end of the day, it's the person's decision that he has to make. So it's the same thing with the Chovos Halevavos here. I mean, how do I know if when it comes to a certain business deal that I can make, it will be a tremendous time consumer? And I frankly don't know if I'll be able to keep all my learning siddharim and keep all my davening. I'm gonna have to miss minyan here and there for it. But it's very lucrative. That's a real shaila, what I should do. On the one hand, maybe I'll be guilty of what this whole perek in Chovos Halevavos is talking about. On the other hand, maybe Hashem is sending me a golden opportunity to be able to make this extra money, and then I can breathe a sigh of relief later, and I'll be in a better position later in my life, even if a few months down the line, a few weeks down the line, to learn more. So it's a hard it's a hard life, basically. It's a hard decision to make. There's a story, it's a joke about, it was pouring rain and it was starting to flood. And the government started announcing that everyone has to leave because the flood waters are coming. And the guy said, I'd be talking to Hashem. And the water levels rose, and they were coming with these big, pickup trucks, 4x4s. And they come in, no, I'd be talking. And then the water was higher, and they were going in boats. And I'd be talking. And then it was going in helicopters. The water was so high. I'd be talking. Guy ended up drowning. He goes up to Shemayim, and he says to Hashem, how come I died? I touched bitachon on you. Hashem said, what do you mean? I sent you a pickup truck, I sent you a boat, and I sent you a helicopter. Right? So we have to know sometimes, when is it that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending us that salvation? And when is it that that's really a distraction and it's an isayin for me that I shouldn't take it? So the answer is that there's no answer. There's no answer, that you can't find the answer any book in any person. That's why we're here. And that's part of the challenge in life, is to make these decisions on our own by seeking counsel with other people. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that I do think that this perek does relate to all of us. This chapter relates to all of us in a more subtle way. And the Chovos Halevavos is speaking in a very radical, drastic case. But it's something to think about as we go through our lives. Okay, let's start in the last few minutes. We shall start the Perek Shvi, the conclusion. Right? This is the end of the Shaar Habitachon. The Kevin Shishlamnu b'Shar Hazeh Mashay Ro'u Min Advarim Kifi Asagaseinu. We've pretty much finished here. We've presented the main ideas of what belongs in this gate according to our understanding. In other words, until the first 6 chapters, that is Rabbeinu Bachaya, that's the author of Chovos Halevavos, that is his understanding of what bitachon is. It's all there. What should we do now? And it's interesting, the Mesilas Yesharim also follows the same structure. What are we going to do now? Now it's fitting for us to discuss the obstacles to trusting in Hashem. Let's discuss those things that make it difficult for us to trust in Hashem. So the Mesilas Yesharim also, he structured his sefer by explaining Zehirus, being careful, Zrizus, running good mitzvahs, the key is being clean from Averis. First he describes what it is, how do you do it, what brings you to it, and what detracts from it. That's how he set up his sefer. Here also, now the Chovos Halevavos gave us in 6 chapters what bitachon is, and now let's recognize, let's isolate those things that detract from bitachon, and then we'll know to stay away from them. The obstacles to the other topics discussed in the previous gates also apply here. They also will cause one to lose his bitachon. There'll be a stumbling block. On page 449, the Chovos Halevavos gets into particularly what are those things that specifically will detract from bitachon. So we're going to hold here for now. And Be'ezer Hashem, tomorrow is Tuesday night. We will continue with the obstacles, and hopefully, I think, Bli Neder, maybe by the end of the week, we'll finish the sefer. If not, at some point in time next week. Bli Neder. Okay, everyone should have a great night. Enjoy your Lag BaOmer.
Rabbi.
You too. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love